What's going on, y'all? What is going on? I'm putting the topic of tonight's live in the comments. How are y'all doing? It's gonna be a good one. Miss May Adi, how are you? Delonda, how are you? If y'all can hear me, let me know in the comment section. It's gonna be a good one. Business beyond the numbers. Let me know in the comment section how my lighting is too. But it's gonna be a good convo. We're gonna talk. Me and Isaiah are gonna talk about. We're gonna bring our conversations that we normally have behind the scenes to IG Live, so it's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna let this before he comes on. I'm gonna let this go. If y'all can hear me, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know. Alexander, how's it going? Daphne, how are you? Miss Mayadi, I'm good. I'm doing well. I got your email. We're gonna be responding to you tomorrow, first thing in the morning. Drew, how are you, man? Alejandro, how are you? I think Isaiah's in here. Let me bring you in, man, so we can get this thing started.
What up? What up?
How's it going?
Man, all is well, bro. How you doing?
Pretty good. Alejandro said, I'm glad we're saving this because he's sleepy.
Hey man, that's the dude right there.
Right.
That's that guy. Don't nobody know about him yet.
They don't know yet. Best kept secret, but they will soon.
For real. Real
They
talk.
will.
We gonna make sure of that.
For sure, for sure. How you been, man? So it's 7:30 on your side of the country, right?
Yeah. It's still sunny. You know what I mean? It's sunset right now, so we chilling. But nah, life's honestly, man, it's been really good, bro. Like seriously. It's been I'll say like constant. It's just been really good. A lot of good growth going, like a lot of sustainability and like solidness. You know what I mean?
No, that's dope, man. That's dope. Well, I guess we need to do our introductions for those who don't know us and all that good stuff. So I'll let you.
Everybody knows Ephraim.
Nah.
That's that dude right there.
I'll start it off though. So for those who don't know, my name is Ephraim. I'm a CPA based out of Houston, Texas. Me and my firm, we help our clients manage their money so they can scale their business with confidence. And man, it's our 12th year of business. Things are on the up and up. I think things were good, and then the pandemic happened, and it actually kind of pushed us into that next level. We were blessed enough to be well staffed to take on all the demand and everything that was going on last year. I know there was a lot of people that their businesses weren't really doing well during that time frame, but we were blessed to actually, be on the other side. So here we are, man. We're in the middle of 2021 already. This year's about to be over in literally 6 months.
Yeah, yeah. Like once it hits like September, the year is over.
That's true. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah. So it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. So I'll let you go too.
Yeah. My name is Isaiah. What's up, Yummy? My name is Isaiah. I am the founder of Swap Eyewear. It's a direct-to-consumer eyewear company and also Swap Agency. And that is an agency that's a strategical branding agency. And we are basically a strategic advisor for a lot of product-based businesses that actually want to, be more strategic in their growth. And that's why this whole live was, kind of even talked about, because we always talking about the deeper meanings of business rather than just the revenue, right?
Right.
Like we like thinking about and talking about all that other stuff. So so that's what I do.
It's dope, man. Yeah, no, I was telling him earlier before you jumped on that, it's cool that we're doing this because we do talk a lot on DMs behind the scenes and stuff. And,
yeah,
it's our conversations are dope because it's deeper than just the revenue, right? Like it's real easy to log into your Shopify account and see how much you've made for the whole year. But what about everything else behind that, right? Like a lot of the revenue, I look at it as vanity. I look at it as the number that makes you feel good about your business, right? Depending upon how everything's going.
Yeah.
But what about everything else? Are you profitable? Are you, is your inventory turning over in a decent time frame? You know, there's so much deeper than that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm glad we're having this convo. Do you sometimes feel like, I guess people don't really take the deeper part of business for, like, they take it for granted, or maybe they're just not thinking about those things, that too many people of us are thinking about revenue only?
Well, I feel like it's broken down into phases. So certain people do take it serious, but that's usually only when they've been given a reason to take it serious. Right? It's kind of like it's like a maturity thing, right? That's what I've like grown to see working with, you know, a good 50 entrepreneurs that are all at different levels in their business. I literally can point to, you know, a business, and off of one conversation, I can know where they're at in their business, or I can know what their challenges are, what their challenges they're about to face, because of what I've seen. And, you know, I've seen both sides of the coin on a lot of different scenarios, situations, and coins. So, yeah, most people, I would say, like, sadly, even up to like $1 million a year, all they're thinking about is revenue. Like, even some people, if your mindset is really off, even like 5 million a year, you're only focused about revenue.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it really is important to truly understand what is really, really, truly happening and what is really being built. But most people, they don't have that long-term vision, and they don't have that claim of like, this is our destination. They're just going. And so the revenue is the only thing that they think is like important. So that's all they know to focus on, because that's all they've seen on social media. That's all they've heard, right? Scale, scale, scale. And it's like, people don't even understand that to scale, the word scale, going from 10K a month to 35,000 a month, that's not scaling. That's growing.
Right.
You're not really like scaling your company until you're spending like 100,000 a month on ads.
Right.
So it's like, it's really a way of thinking and a mindset. And we truly, truly, truly have to upgrade our operating software in our brains the same way that we make sure our phones and our computers are upgraded.
That's deep. I like that analogy, man. It's real, because you see a lot of people on Instagram, you know, the marketers, and they're very good at what they do, you know, with their marketing, and they're always in your face about the vanity numbers.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about, and I'm not even just marketers, business coaches too.
Yeah.
They'll talk about marketing and that's it. They'll talk about sales a little bit and that's it.
Yeah.
They're not really talking about everything else. And it's like, if you're a coach, you have to coach your students on everything in that business. Otherwise, you're not doing them good. You're doing them a disservice, right?
Big time.
And what I'm seeing from from a few people that I've worked with in the past is that, okay, you build to a certain level and then you burn out, right? And you burn out because you haven't established your foundation. You haven't put the people in the right places. You haven't done the SOPs and a lot of things that even I'm still doing to this day, you know? And the reason I try to talk about this, you know, often in my stories or on Instagram is because if I'm going through it, I want to talk it through with other people, because there might be other people out there that are going through it just like me. And I might be able to feed off someone else's energy, you know, and that's kind of how we met. We met on Clubhouse or whatnot. And we had a lot of these conversations, a lot of rooms around these type of topics. And this part of business is what I really enjoy. And Alejandro just asked, what is an SOP?
Yeah, you got to let them know. Hey, man, you gonna find out about that real soon.
Right.
But it's called standard operating procedures. Basically, you want to have every process of your business written out so that a elementary kid or a middle school kid or you know, somebody that knows nothing about your business can come in. I was in the military, so that's what they call them, SOPs. We had to know what that meant. We had to know our own SOPs for our job. When the commander came out, we had to, you know, let them know exactly what the SOP said. You know, 11.1.2. This was our SOP. This what happens if this happens. We call this number. All of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and it's so important. It's so important to scaling.
Yeah,
it's so important to moving yourself out of the business so it can operate without you.
Yeah.
You know, like if you were to get sick or if you were to, let's say, just go on vacation with your family or whatnot, you want your business to continue running. I've seen people literally, like, we've helped them build their money up, and then all of a sudden they'll say, hey, I'm taking a vacation for 2 months in my business, but you're the only person in your business.
Right.
So their business stops.
Yeah.
And they can't, like, they're not making money as they're away.
Right.
You know, and that's one of the things I also wanted to talk about today, like really rewiring how we think. And because, you know, I do post a lot about, you know, having a good work ethic, right? But now it's all about really work hard, but also work smart, right?
Yeah. So,
you know, it's so important.
So check this out. To what you just said, right? As I'm thinking about it, because I feel like not too long ago, I was kind of in that trap. And here's what the trap is. Like, there's a real rat race and hamster wheel in multiple categories of your business, right? So when you start your business or when you're at, you know, 10K a month, whatever, you are, number one, you're in sales, especially if you have a service-based business. So what happens is we are focused on our lead generation. And then the lead generation turns in sending out proposals or whatever that may be. And then it turns into fulfillment.
Right.
So what happens is most people, especially that have a service-based business and products, once you hit that fulfillment piece, you turn back to the lead generation, what got you here. That's how you working hard and you up till 2 a.m, right? When you should still have the lead generation system and then somebody to fill the gap for what happens when it comes to the leads. And then you're managing the actual cycle. So what I used to do is, because I remember I learned this lesson in real estate. When I used to flip houses, my mentor, he told me, I had a house and then I bought it, I had fixed it, and then it had just sold. So then I was like looking around like, where's the next house? Right? But my mentor, he told me, he said, you know where you messed up? He said, you was at that damn house every day babysitting the contractors. He said, while that house was getting fixed, you should have been in the field getting your next deal under contract. So that way, when this one closed out, you know what I mean? You had a cycle. But at the time, because I was in the beginning, I didn't have the reserves that would comfortably allow me to sit here and say, okay, even if this doesn't close when I think it will, I still have the funds, right, that will allow me to float for 3 weeks to a month if something happens, but let me still focus on that next deal, right? I was in survival mode even when I was in real estate, back when, you know, that was like 6 years ago. But I was still in survival mode because I had a horrible relationship with money. Like, my whole life, like, energetically, it was like messed up when I look back on it, you know? So that's to your point of the whole, that cycle, that is the cycle. And it is a very, very, very dangerous cycle. And a lot of people get trapped because once you get in it, it now becomes a habit. And now once you're in the habit of working hard, you feel weird if you do have leads coming in easily. And then it's like, who's going to close them? Even if people do close them, you still don't even trust it because you're such a control freak because you get so locked into this little cycle and these little habits right here, right? And the same with products. You get so caught up in, oh, I gotta market, I gotta fulfill, I gotta ship out, right? And now because you're in there, you don't have the time to sit here and step back and slow down and say, what is the legit vision of the company? Most people don't have that because they're always right here locked into this circle.
Everything you're saying, like I got so much to follow up on that. That's amazing. For those of y'all who are just coming on, though, me and Isaiah, we're talking about business beyond the numbers. So a lot of times on social media, you always see people talk about revenue, right? You'll see people take screenshots of their Shopify account. Some of those screenshots are fake, but that's a different story.
Right.
But they'll always post their numbers, and it'll lead people who are not in business or who are thinking about jumping into business to just focus on sales and revenue. But the business is so much deeper than that. There's so many different levels to your business that if you are not in tune with and you're not cultivating, then ultimately your business will either go out of business because, you know, you might not have your money together, or you might just burn out and just go out of business, period.
Yeah.
But to add on to what you were saying, this business thing, it really clicked for me when I really figured out the cycle of how this thing works, right? Like, it's a big cycle, whether you're in service or in product, and you map out the cycle, and then you look at each piece of the cycle, and then you're like, okay, how can I replace myself in each of those pieces? Right. So when it comes to a service-based business, like you said, you have to market. And then once people are coming to you, all those leads are coming to you, you have to find a way to sell them.
Right.
And bring them into your ecosystem, right? So that means that, you know, you have a discovery call, a sales call, you propose to them what you would do for them. And then now you send them the proposal, they sign it. Once that signature is signed and you get that together, now it's time to fulfill. It's time to onboard them before you fulfill. But the onboarding piece is so important. So you onboard them, and then you fulfill their service, either whether it's a one-time service or whether it's an ongoing monthly service.
Right.
And then cycle, you do that over and over and over.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, once you start doing that and you're doing that and you have so many clients coming in, you're going to burn out because you can't handle all those people, right? And whether you are an accountant like myself, whether you're a hairstylist, barber, whoever, like, it's the same cycle. I mean, it may not be the same as far as like doing a discovery call and all that, but you're marketing and you're selling and you're getting those people, and you have to service them. And then now, you know, you hopefully, after you service them, you do a great job and you find a way to get them to come back to you again, right? Whenever it's time for them to come back. And the same thing with e-commerce. You know, you have an optimized, really good website. You draw attention to that website and you make it as easy as possible for someone to purchase, right? And then now they purchase, you deliver their product, you fulfill it, you know, to them in a timely manner, right? Because now you have Amazon that everyone's competing against.
Right.
When it comes to shipping. And, you know, once you do that, now, you know, if you remind them like, hey, we're still here, come back and buy these new drops that we have, or come back and buy the same thing that, you know, we sold to you earlier.
Yeah.
In the same cycle. So once I painted that picture, and I was like, man, okay, all I really have to do now is remove myself from each of these one by one, like work on it, like find people who are really good in those areas, train them up. Hopefully they have experience, but if not, train them up, have the SOPs, make sure that you have really good customer service. I used to find people that were good at what they did, but their customer service was whack, you know? So making sure that whoever comes into your ecosystem really likes people, you know, that's important, right? And then now you can really start to focus your attention more so on the marketing and the sales. And then at some point you can remove yourself from both of those.
Right.
And then now you have a business that just operates and you're focusing more on the leadership, the management of the people, you know, and all that. And I think, I don't know if you who are listening, if that makes sense to y'all, but if it does, let me know in the comment section. But once I started really looking at it like that, I was like, okay, I can actually do this, and I can actually now do this at a bigger scale. But you said something also earlier that was real key: money management, right? In order for you to do all this, your money has to be managed properly. And if it's not managed properly, then you can't go out and hire the best people. You can't go out there and give your people bonuses. You can't go out there and bring all the things, like make your product look better than just putting it in one of those cheap, free packaging that you get at the post office, right? So you need the money to be managed properly for you to carry out all these things.
Right.
And can you talk more about, you said earlier that, your money management wasn't really great back then. And then I guess you improved and like talk about your experience about that.
Man, it was really not necessarily money management, but the way I thought the relationship, right? Because I was a saver.
Okay.
So when you're a saver,
yeah,
you inherently become a hoarder of money.
Yes.
So I was afraid to allow money to flow out and then come back.
Right.
Right? Because what we do is we think that we don't know how to separate our business life from our personal and a mindset as well. So here's what I mean. We're like, if you've never had a business, that means that you haven't had anybody, no examples. You don't have any real concept of this. So you're going into this with the mindset and the understanding of a person living a consumer's life, right? So what happens is you think that when you're growing your business, you're always going to feel like you're spending money, right? So there's the word spending and investing. So in my mind, I wanted to hoard the money because money going out just meant money going out in that world as a consumer. But I didn't understand that every dollar that I put out in my business was actually a seed, and it would germinate and it would bring me back an actual return, right? So I was thinking you can't run a business, but in like thinking from the perspective of your personal, unhealed, broke, poverty life. I come from poverty, poverty minded, right? And so that's where my mind was at. So, I would make $30,000 on the house. The first time I ever had a deal that I closed, it was like $28,000. I made $25,000 a year in the military. So I was like, yo, like I just made what I made in a year, like right here. So I wanted to just hold it. Right. And so, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I had put money out back into real estate, but when you don't have like a marketing channel that works, or you don't have, for like 3 to 6 months of marketing expenses like that you're comfortably able to, then it really will mess with your mind and you'll self-sabotage yourself. So that's like how it was in my mind. And I couldn't see anything else. Yeah, there was people around me that was making money. I had like mentors and stuff, but a lot of things we have to look in the mirror and address. Like we can get all the game and wisdom from people around us, but they're only there to like present it to you so that you can go do the work on your own, so you can get out of your own way. Right. And so that was like really big for me. And I remember earlier this year, we oftentimes, being Black, you start a business based on your current perception of reality. So here's what I mean. I have 2 examples. When I started my eyewear company, I was nervous as shit to charge $100 and something for a pair of high quality sunglasses that are on par with any designer brand. The reason was because I was not focused on the market. I was focused on growing up in California and not having no money and not seeing anybody around that actually bought that type of product at that price point. Right? So in my mind, I was like, should I really sell these for more than 100? Like, should I sell these for, 35? Because I was basing everything off of my own survival mode mentality, because that was the habit of thinking that I was used to. Right? And so I always say, like, you cannot start a business in survival mode. No. Because you're not even thinking properly enough to like create a vision to go somewhere. You're creating a vision to get away from somewhere. So if you're trying to escape your past, you can't get closer to your future. Right? Because you're running away from something rather than running towards something. And so I ended up, I had a price. And so I was like, over time I got more comfortable with it. But in the beginning, I was afraid to say, you know, these are prices, but over time, I got my quality down. I found a good manufacturer that gave me the actual confidence, you know?
And you know what's crazy is that people will tell you, I don't know if you had this happen, but people will tell you, why are you charging that much for your price? I mean, for your service or your product.
Uh-huh.
You know, like they'll try to discourage you and make you feel like you're overpricing, or not necessarily overpricing, but like what you're putting out there is not worth what the price is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's something that you now have to also find a way around as well. That mentality of, dang, like these people that don't necessarily appreciate what I'm doing or what I'm selling are trying to put their price on me, or they're putting their price on me based upon what they've experienced elsewhere, or what what other people in the market are doing.
Right.
But I'm not those people. I'm different.
You know what that is?
You see what I'm saying?
That's on them, and that's not even on you or us or anything.
Right.
That's a whole nother like mind thing that you have to think about, like or like overcome, I guess you can say. You know, like, and when I was selling cars, I learned that if I call 50 people a day, there's going to be people that don't answer. There's going to be people that hang up on me. There's going to be people that are offended. But if I get one person to come in and buy a car, and I do that for 20 days, that's 20 cars. It's simple math.
Simple math.
You know what I mean?
Simple math.
Super simple math, you know? But and you said something earlier that I think that if we're talking about beyond the numbers, that is very, very, very important from a product-based business owner standpoint, is you grow a business off of first-time customers, but you sustain a business off of returning customers.
Talk about that. Talk about that, because I've worked with people that they only focused on Facebook ads. They didn't do any they didn't do any other kind of marketing. It was just strictly Facebook ads. Yeah. And they saw their business like shoot through the roof, and they're like, oh my God, everything's amazing. And then I literally saw a couple like crumble because that was all they were doing, the Facebook ads. And then now if Facebook changes their algorithm or something happens, now you're screwed. You don't have any organic marketing. You don't have any other marketing that you're doing to supplement ads not working. So talk about that.
Yeah, man. I think that's one of the the biggest things, because I feel like that's just so prevalent right now. Because of course, I've literally seen the back end of, you know, a great deal of businesses that are all at different levels. So I'm seeing like, hold on, you know what I mean? Like, what? Like, are you serious? So a lot of people will say, like, you know, on Facebook, I'll make a post and I'll get a lot of different, you know, feedback and stuff. But what people really don't understand is the long term. Like, that's really a foundational thing. So, for example, if you're running ads to just make money, you're actually capping yourself at what your business could really be operating and functioning at, right? If we're not focused on email marketing at all, if we're not focusing on SMS, these are literally like elementary level concepts. But if you do it over time, you will have a super solid brand. But here's what happens. You make money, you run ads, you make money, right? Okay, cool. So now when that slows down, you were not fostering the relationship with the people that you made money with the first time.
Right.
So now when you see ads aren't working, then you go into panic mode, which is essentially like going into survival mode.
Right.
And then you say 30% off, 20% off, and that's it. So all your customers know is what they saw up top.
Discounts.
And then now you need something. They're going to be like, I don't give a damn about your brand. Because you don't even have a brand. Like, and then they're going to be like, the product wasn't even all that. Because what makes a product good is a holistic customer experience, right? The communication constantly, right? I bought things off like these earrings. I bought these. It took me 2 weeks to get them, and all I got was an order confirmation email. I don't even want to buy anything off of that site again. Off the simple fact that I'm like, yo, but if I go on my emails, I will see sell this or get this for that's all I'll see. So it's
Yep.
like, but people don't value what they can't see today.
Right.
Right? They're only gonna value the revenue and the vanity. That's all they're gonna value today. But if I was to tell you, if you focus on this, you'll be set up long term. 95% of people be like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But out of that 95%, and we know the numbers,
Right.
about 2 to 3% will actually do it longer than 90 days.
Mm.
So if that's the case, it still all comes down to the way you think. And what I've learned is if you operate a business as if you want to exit and sell it, all of these things will like go out the window because you'll be in the proper mindset. And I feel like the truest form of business is start, grow, scale, sell.
Yep.
That's in my mind, like all this lifestyle. And that's another thing that beyond the numbers, and you know, we talk about that a lot, but the whole lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
Like you can't sit here and say, if you're learning from a person who like sells a lifestyle, but you want to build a business, you're getting misguided because they're operating off of two completely different mindsets and things like that. So it's like, and then another thing, people go too horizontal way too early. Instead of staying vertical and going up, right? They get to 100,000, then they think they've mastered the game, and then they're like, yo, let me go start this other brand. And it's like, oh, we haven't even reached the level of mastery yet.
Yo, I feel like we've covered like 20 different topics.
I know, bro.
But this is literally how our conversations go on behind the scenes. Like, there's so many different things that we talk about, but all these little topics that we've talked about we could have an hour dedicated to each one or whatnot. But these are the things that me and you have seen happen with clients and people that we worked with or whatnot. And we see it happen. And it's like, there's very few people who are patient with trying to grow their business over time. Yeah. Everyone wants success immediately. Yeah. And it's like, what's the rush? You're like, a lot of people I meet, they're like 25, 26, and they want to be multimillionaires right now. Yeah. And it's like, most people don't even hit that till later on in their life.
Right. Do you know how many businesses make $1 million annually, percentage-wise?
Less than 7%. And then even when it comes to us only, with Black people, I'm sure it's less than 1% or whatever, you know? Uh-huh. So it's just one of those things where it's like a lot of people can't get there. But if you can get there incrementally over time if you get your foundation together. Right.
So you talk about foundation a lot, right?
Say what?
You talk about foundation a lot, right?
All the time, yeah.
What is your definition, right? And when you think about foundation and you're talking to somebody and you really want to give them, you know, some real good game and wisdom on foundation, like service or product, just business principles in general, what are things that you think are like key components of a solid foundation to be able to go?
Key components, well, obviously, I would say the money part, right? That's definitely a part of the foundation. If you don't have the right money mindset as far as like in the beginning, knowing that however much money I'm making, I don't need to literally touch any of it or very little of it for personal usage in the beginning because I'm trying to scale this thing. And every time I dive into this account and I have the business money and I'm using it for personal expenses, even if it's for, you know, things that you actually need, then now that's diluting and taking away from the business growing. And obviously all of us have to live, but I would definitely say, you know, like have some money put aside before you start a business. That's honestly probably the best thing to do.
Okay, now dive into that. So people continue to see it. What does that like look like, right? Because we could hear, okay, you need to have money to the side, but like from a organizational standpoint, right? Like not amount, because that's like relative, right? But like
Right.
From your perspective, like what is that? What is like a solid financial foundation look like if you want to sit here and really go? You know what I mean?
That's a great question. So I guess there's several ways to look at it, right? You could look at it as, am I starting my business and I have my job going, right? So if you have your job and your business, you're doing it at the same time, then I would definitely say you want to do the research on how much money you would need for, let's say, the most important things in your business, such as the inventory aspect, like how much inventory do I need to buy? Maybe it might be, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000. And then you know that, okay, if I buy this and I have the right marketing plan and sales plan behind it, I can make however much money, hopefully 3 times or more off of that. Then now that begins the cycle. So I would look at that. I would look at, how much money do I need for marketing? How much money do I need for my inventory? How much money do I need for all the important things? Put that on a spreadsheet and tally that up, right? And now you have your job. And I always say, if you have your job, you really don't need to be touching, because people ask me all the time, when can I start taking money out of the business? If you have a job, you don't need to touch the business money, period.
Right.
Because
why is it even an issue? Like, why are you so pressed to touch the money?
Exactly. Don't touch that business money, period, because it's not yours. And you're trying to, the goal is for, you're trying to grow this thing so you can leave your job, right? Yeah. But if you're touching it, then you're never going to leave your job. So now we look at it from a different aspect of, okay, I want to leave my job and I want to do the business 100%, right? So now you have to do what I just said earlier, as far as having enough money for the business, but then also having enough money for you to live at least 6 months. Yeah. So you need that money too. You need 2 sets of money to tide you over. So you now have to look at, what are my personal expenses, do an inventory of that and write all that down. Cancel out a lot of the stuff that you really don't need. If you're watching TV, cable, $200 a month, cut that. You need to be focused on the business. You need to be focused on the business.
Yeah.
You know what? And that's another thing too. We cut our cable about 2 or 3 years ago, and that's one of the biggest reasons why we were able to take off. Because I couldn't watch all the shows I used to watch and all the sports. I don't even watch sports now until it's either the playoffs or if it's the Super Bowl or whatever. Then I'll take a break. But I'm not watching them games, and I'm a big sports fanatic or whatever. But that's a different story for another day. But you want to make sure that you have 3 to 6 months put together, so that way you can take care of your personal belongings. You want to take inventory of all the money that you're spending personally. You want to cut out a lot of the fat that you are spending personally, right? Like, you don't need to be going to buy clothes every single month. You can wear the same clothes over and over, because you're focused. You shouldn't be focused on, trying to impress people and go out and do all these things. Your main focus should be on growing this business, so that way you can go out in the future. You see what I'm saying? So then you have that together and you have your business money together. And that might, if we want to throw the numbers out, it really just depends on what kind of business you're trying to start. Are you trying to start a restaurant? That's more money that you have to put into. Are you trying to start a business that's low cost or whatnot? So you got to really look at all those things and put all that together.
Yeah.
But if you have
give you some perspective from a numbers perspective. Because when I started Suave Eyewear, I did a crowdfunding campaign, and then it was going to take 4 months for my inventory to get here. And I'm like, what the fuck I'm going to do? like, okay, now I'm going to sit and duck. And that's when I started to go sell cars, because I started to think, and I was like, whoa, like, how am I going to I can't do this organic. I got to really make this happen. And so that's when I went to go sell cars. So from September to January, the end of January is when I was selling cars. So that's like almost 2 years. It was like 18 months or 15 months or something like that. And so in the year 2020, I made, selling cars alone, I made like 80,000. And so I probably invested about 35,000 of that into my business, trademarks, inventory. I was paying off debt as well. That whole year, I could have been living, however I wanted to, because my rent was super low. My expenses were very low. But that time in my life, my rent was only $1,000. I had a roommate at the time as well. And I really, really, really sacrificed a lot. And I remember the day I quit and left the dealership, I had made $8,000 like that day. You know what I mean? So it was like, at that point, I really didn't care. I really kept the job until it was just unbearable, and it was really starting to cost me to actually go.
Right.
But that's, you know, just like perspective wise, my first year of my business, I legit invested a smooth 30 to 40, maybe even 50,000 in inventory, into photo shoots, into content, into branding, into a trademark, like, you know, into saving, putting money to the side for my personal life, because I knew that I was going to be quitting. Right. I was never married to the idea of selling cars, but I knew I could make, and I was making maybe about $7,000 to $9,000 a month. And, you know, I was living like I was broke. You know, I didn't go out a lot. I wasn't popping tags. I wasn't, you know, buying clothes and stuff like that. And I remember but also this is important. You do want to have a healthy relationship with your progress. Because I remember, you know, I had money in the bank, and I felt guilty for spending $200, you know, on myself. But it was because of everything that I had sacrificed to get here. And I was like, man, like, this was hard work. I don't ever want to go back to that again.
Right.
You know, so yeah, man, it's definitely it's a journey of, you know, learning how to grow your mind and stuff. But, you know, I like to talk about that foundation thing, because it's very, very, very important. You know, the financial foundation is like everything.
No, for real. And you said some things about how you sacrificed, you know, how you had rent that was cheap, and, you know, you also had a roommate. Yeah. You know, how many people are willing to do that? Man, you know, especially as guys, do we want roommates, right? Because you want to bring company over. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Have fun. But what's the priority? Yeah. You know? Are you trying to get to that next level with this business, or are you just trying to have fun? You know, and at some point, you know, if you are having fun, at some point that light bulb is going to click, and you're going to be like, okay, it's time for me to like activate this next level, and let's get serious.
Yeah. You know? And hopefully it doesn't, you don't have that epiphany when you could have already been doing it, and you could have already been ahead of the game. Right. You know, because I feel like in life, a lot of times in life, we have like a window of opportunity that's like perfect and divine for us. And if we don't take that opportunity, that opportunity may not come around again ever, or it may only come around like another 8 years from now. And like real talk, like I feel like we all in our lives, for like our dreams, we all have this magical window of perfect divine opportunity, and we have to learn how to, you know, like get everything away from us that's not conducive to that, like people and opinions and everything, and trust that, so that we could really go. Because when I left the dealership, like I wasn't nervous, but it was uncertainty, you know, a certain amount. And then when I moved to Vegas, that in and of itself was like, I wasn't expecting that at all, but, you know, I did. And to be able to move, you know what I mean, pack up everything, get a new spot, you know, rent, down payment, furnish your place, everything like that. Like that was a lot of money, but I had to do it because that was where my future was at. And that was where my future self was, you know what I mean, going to be at. And so it was like, I couldn't stay where I was at. I had to trust, you know, that unknowing feeling that this is where I'm supposed to be and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So, you know, it's like entrepreneurship is way more of a spiritual journey than it is an actual, you know, business. And I was thinking today, I was like, I told my homeboy, I said, yo, the business is the easy part once you've mastered yourself. Man. Right? It's really easy because nothing's like right now, life, it feels so much easier than it used to 4 to 5 years ago. Right. I was always running into a wall, running into a roadblock. But I literally took 3 years off from the world. Nobody knew me. Nobody heard about me or anything. I used to be online a lot, but I literally took myself away from everything. And then I figured out myself, figured out who I was, like what was this all really about. And then now it's no real difference, but life feels way easier because I mastered you know what I mean,
Right.
myself.
That's dope. That's dope. You did. There were two things that you also said earlier that I want to touch on. Another thing you said outside of the roommate aspect was that you got yourself out of debt.
Yeah.
Right. And that was something that we actually did. Well, I did back in 2013, and I haven't been in debt since that year. And that's another big proponent of what also helped me accelerate as well, because I didn't have those nagging payments, student loans, and all these other things that I had to pay for. You know, and I was able to really accelerate and really just build up the cash, you know, that way. So that's extremely important. And then you said you also took, you know, the 3 years to master yourself and take time away from the world. I think that's so important. Like, I think in the pandemic, a lot of us, that was our first time actually slowing down and really having time to ourselves, you know, and I had to not necessarily cut off, but I had to get away from certain people in my life, you know, because the conversations were idle. You know, it wasn't conversations that was helping me grow or whatnot, or get to that next level. You know, when you get that energy away from you, now that's like another thing too. So you
get lighter.
Right. So there's those of you who are listening, you might have some people in your life that are bringing you down or bringing your energy down. You might need to find a way to separate, you know, at least, if not totally forever, for a short period, and see what that does to you.
If you separate, it's most likely going to become a forever thing because you're going to continue to grow. You know, a lot of people don't even see how people around them is holding them down and holding them back, because there's a veil over their eyes, and that veil is comfortability. That veil is being afraid to walk away. That veil is being a people pleaser, right? So they're looking at the world from the eyes of being a people pleaser, from all these different things, right? They're codependent, or they're living, or they know somebody that's in their life that makes them feel like they're controlled, or they owe them something. And you know what I mean? They're in so much bondage to so many different things. And so that's why they're not really able to, you know, make these decisions, because they're afraid of the recourse of what's going to really happen. And the only reason I know this stuff is because I lived it, you know? So, you know, it don't matter to me, because I've been there, done that, and we grew from it. But that's what I've learned. A lot of people, they're not, you know, taking the steps for real. And that literally is a self-sabotage that they don't even know that they're doing, but it's all because of how they look at the world, and they're not allowing the past to be the past. Right. They're trying to hold on to people. They're trying to pacify people. They're trying to babysit people's insecurities. You know, they're trying to do all these different things rather than actually making the decision that's best for them and their growth. Right. And it's very, very, very unfortunate. But until a person, and that's what I mean when I say self-mastery, once you get to a place where you are okay with being a bad guy and whoever else's story that didn't want to do the same work that you did, once you're okay with that, you'll really grow. Right. But until you can master saying no to the world and finally saying yes to yourself, that even may be a scary thing, because you've never said yes to yourself. Oh, wow. Right. You never say yes to that's a bar, right? Because a lot of us have never said yes to ourselves. Yeah. I remember when I hired someone to help me with my systems, right? She asked me, she says, so, you know, write this down. It was like from one of my welcome packets. And she said, so what, write down your boundaries. What are your boundaries? And I was like, what? What are you talking about? She was like, what are your boundaries? I was like, can you help me out? Like, what do you mean? Like, and then it was at that moment, I realized I'd never had boundaries my whole life. Literally my whole life, I've never had a boundary. And so if I never had a boundary, how did I know how to enforce a boundary? Right. So that made me look at my whole personal life, and it shifted everything. Right. And a lot of people, they don't know that they have zero boundaries. Yep. And because of that, everybody is like, give me. I need this. I need this. And then you're trying to appease all these people. And that's why you've never said yes to yourself. Come on. You know? So this is like real stuff that I've really had to learn, you know, and that's why business is more than a screenshot of a dollar amount. You know what I mean? This is some real stuff. If you really want to become a first generation millionaire and have a business that's doing 5 million and consistently over time, you're going to literally have to become a different person.
You have to.
You have to. It's non-negotiable.
You have to become a different person. You have to move different. And I always say at every level of business, like you have to overcome certain mindset challenges.
Yeah.
Right. You know, like in the beginning, the mindset you have is not the mindset that you're going to have once you hit 6 figures. Then now the mindset you have at 7 figures is not going to be the same mindset you had at 6. And then 8 figures, the mindset. So I'm thinking like every single level or every single year, you're overcoming different things. You're becoming a different person. You're hopefully becoming a better person, a better leader, a better manager, a better business person, and all that. And a lot of times we can't do that if we are not investing in learning more. We're not investing in personal development, whether it's even taking time to yourself. Because I know you do a lot of meditation, yoga, you know, things of that nature.
Yeah, you know,
right. So if you're not investing in yourself, then it's going to be hard. And if you're not investing in good people to come in and work in your business or contract your business, getting to that next level is going to be a challenge. You know, and even if you do get there, you're probably burnt out. You're probably worn out, right? Yeah. Because now that's my major thing. Okay, how can I get to that next level without burning out? How can I get to that next level and maintain friendships, you know, that I do still cherish? Family members, you know, family time, all that. And it's like you can't do that if you don't have the right people in place to really build you up, you know, and help your business.
Yeah. And you also have to learn how to trust not only others, but you have to learn how to trust yourself, and you have to learn how to trust your business, and you also have to learn how to trust your judgment of character of the decisions that you've made, because you put all these people in place, right? You've made every decision for your business, so you have to even trust that. And that gives people a lot of fear and anxiety, but it's like, because it's like, what if something happens? But it's like, every day something happens.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You go get some ice cream, you go to the gym, you make money, you lose money. Like every single day, something happens. So why are you worried about what if something happens? Something's going to happen every day.
You're going to lose money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like once I learned that, I was like, okay, it's sort of like investing, right? You're going to lose money in investing, but if you diversify well enough, then the gains that you have from the well-performing stocks are going to outweigh the stocks that aren't performing well. Same thing in real estate. If you diversify and you buy 10 homes and you buy and hold them, and, you know, Don is on here, he's a real estate guy. You know, you might have a couple that might have bad tenants, but then the rest of them have good tenants.
Yeah.
And it all works out. So you are going to lose money. And the earlier that you get comfortable with that, like I've hired so many people that didn't pan out, and I spent 20, 30 plus thousand, you know, paying them because I didn't like separate from them soon enough.
Right.
You know? So in that event, I could easily say, man, I don't want to ever hire anyone again because it's going to be the same thing. No, you have to overcome that. You have to move past that and say, I'm going to learn from this, lost money, you know, this lost investment, right? Because now I look at expenses as investments. You know, every time you buy something or you hire someone, it needs to be looked at as an investment, right?
Yeah.
And so once you look at that and you look at the experience that you had and you learn from that, and it's like, okay, I'm better. I'm a better person. I'm a better business owner today. So now I'm not going to make the same mistake that I did last time, right? So, yeah,
man.
It's real.
And you said something in regards to, like, it's an investment. A really big thing with product-based business owners is, like, a lot of people are so focused on, they don't want to buy X amount of inventory. But here's the mindset shift, right? When you're really growing a business and you have long-term plans, you have to understand that just because you overbuy on inventory, or, you know, it may not be turning just as much, your inventory is still an asset on your balance sheet.
Right.
It just hasn't been liquidated yet.
Yep.
Right. And so we have to stop looking at our inventory as stuff because we just want the money. And we have to understand, number one, like the 80-20 rule, right? I have a new collection we launched in March. There's one pair of frames that just don't sell, right? So if I have, let's say I have 100 of each one, that means that 20% of that collection just won't sell. So I have to figure out, you know, how to use that to my advantage to still get customers and stuff like that. But that's still an asset.
Yep.
Right. And that's a really big thing that we have to really look at. Every dollar that goes out into our business is a money soldier and is a true asset, even if we lose it, even if we lose the money.
Right.
You're going to lose money in your business monthly. You may have meant to stop a subscription and, you know, you forgot to do it this month. Like, we're going to lose money on everything, but that's why you hire people like you, right, to watch over you and to make sure you solid and to look out, you know, look out for you so you can sit here and say, all right, you know, this is what we need to focus on, whatever the case may be. But, yeah, that stuff is really, really, really having an investment mindset. And you got to look at your business as the same as if you look at it from the stock market, right? I tell people, I say, look, your business is a stock, so don't cash out too early, right? Because literally your business is a stock.
Yeah.
Because if you sell your company one day and then they go public, it is now on the public market. But right now it's just on the private market.
Right.
So you need to carry yourself and build your business and operate it as if it's being publicly traded right here, right now. That may seem kind of, you know, overboard to some people, but like, I would rather be over-prepared than under-prepared.
Yep.
Any day. And it's really about the way that you think. So, you know, and that's why this conversation beyond the numbers is like, it's that. Don't cash out too early. Don't just try to get money too early, right? Like, just hold it. When you buy stock, even when you have a bad month, what do they say in the market? Buy the dip.
Right.
That means double down on your business when it's down because it's going to bounce back.
Yep.
It's the same mindset. But you actually get to see what's going on with this stock because you actually own it and you're operating it. But most people, they just don't truly trust themselves and believe in themselves. And that's why they'll just get the short-term money because they don't fully, deeply in their soul believe that they could take this to the moon.
Right, right. So like, and I'm glad that we titled this Business Beyond the Money, Beyond the Numbers, right? Because it is so much deeper than just the numbers. And it was something that, you know, I've been in business now 12 years. I wasn't thinking like this when I first started, but I wish that I was listening to things like this early on because I would be much further. But, you know, things happen in life, right? So
absolutely.
We're meant to get to where we are going to. That all that's already been planned out, you know. I believe, you know.
Yeah.
So it just one of those things. This has been good, man. This has been. If y'all think this is good, let us know in the comment section so that. And then Alejandro says you guys should do more lives together. This is so.
Hey man, that's that Ephraim right there, man. That's why when we was on Clubhouse, bro, even I was like, there was no other room like I really was like, man, like they this is real, this is solid. But I was like, man, I like Ephraim. You know what I mean? Great moderator too.
I appreciate it, man. I think it's time to bring it back. If y'all want us to bring Clubhouse back, let us know in the comment section too, because I think it's back. If you're open to that, Isaiah, I think it's time.
I'm open, but you know, is it still will it still be, you know, viable and stuff like that, like how it was? Because I ain't gonna lie, Clubhouse was jumping back in the day.
Clubhouse was jumping. What do you think ruined it?
I feel like people got tired of just being on their phone all day, every day, and then just, you know, all of that. I feel like that's when like this whole lifestyle stuff really, really, really took off.
Yeah,
because people were literally lying and making 15 grand in a matter of a couple weeks. You know what I mean? So I feel like people just started to be like, oh, they ain't who they say they were. Because once you go on Instagram and you see that they don't have a real business,
Right.
you know what I mean? So it was really the land of just the fake and stuff. But that's why people kind of like slowly, you know, and once they saw that like their business still ran without Clubhouse, it was just a new thing. And then everybody was like in the house, of course. And a lot of people, that was the first time they were ever exposed to any of this information.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it was like, oh my, this is the best thing.
Right.
But the people that have already been running businesses, they're like, it's okay, but I don't really have that much time. Because people were spending 4, 5, 6 hours a day on Clubhouse.
I was one of them. I was definitely one of them.
It was kind of fun in the beginning, but I was like, bro, this is taking up too much time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So if I'm gonna come back, then it's gonna be a lot more planned out and scheduled.
Yeah.
But
so deep down, I think you should really go hard on this platform with this video podcast. Have your office, and then really like, you know, business owners that are actually doing real revenue and like have a solid business when you lift up the hood, interview them, like video, like I feel like that would be like long term, bro. You would murder that.
It's coming. It's coming.
Don't make us wait too long, man.
Say what?
Don't make us wait too long.
You're right. It's coming. So I'm, you know, the 8-Figure Focus moniker, I'm in the process of trademarking it.
Good.
So as soon as that gets whatever, then I'm gonna like really take this thing. And then I've been trying to like really organize the business so that I can step away and do more, because that's really where I want to like move into.
Yeah.
More so.
Yeah.
Because I think it is time, man. And have you ever watched Vlad TV?
Yeah.
I want to be the Vlad of business, where I talk to people and I talk to them about their story, about behind their business and everything. You know,
you have the perfect voice that people would listen to, but wouldn't never see what you look like. Because even on Clubhouse, I was like, I don't know what this dude looks like, but like he has the perfect like moderator's voice. You'd be like, Yummy, how are you doing today? Like, it was perfect. It was perfect.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that came on, man. Hopefully y'all got a lot out of this. I know me and Isaiah, we bounced from so many different topics, but man, I think it was great. We got to do more of these too.
Yeah, we can do it. I mean, you know, for now, you know, every Thursday if you want.
Okay. Yeah. We can probably put that on the schedule. You know, for sure. We should make this a regular thing. If y'all want that to be a regular thing, let us know. You know.
Yeah, because we could really go in about, you know, specific topics. Because you know, I just nerd out on it. This is literally like what I be talking about like all day, every day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So yeah.
Alejandro said earlier, if you can.
Yeah.
Hey, would you do it? Would you be open to doing it during the day, between the 9 to 5 time slot, or are you busy during that time?
I mean, I could break away, you know, I just got to know like the time, and then I'll just set that up.
Okay. Okay.
I'm open to that. Yeah.
Okay. Nice, man. Quandra said, I missed it. Will this be saved? Yeah, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it for sure.
Post this on your wall.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I think honestly, I really do think this was a good
I enjoyed it. I'm hoping everybody enjoyed it as much as we did. For those of y'all that don't know, Smell and Love Candles, Alejandro's a 10-year-old. Y'all, like, if y'all been seeing his comments, like, this is not a grown man like me and Isaiah. This is a 10-year-old, and he's the future.
Yeah. He's a grown man in a 10-year-old's body.
Right. Right. Like, if I had what he had back then, oh my God.
Yeah. You already be worth $1 billion.
Right. Well, nice, man. Well, I'll let you go. I had a great time, and we'll definitely chop it up behind the scenes and make this like a more recurring thing. And we can bring on people too, because you can do 4 people on this at the same time.
Yeah. We could make it something. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah, we can bring back that 8-figure energy.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm with it.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody that came on. And until next time.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Y'all be smooth.
All right.
Yeah.